What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on some recent comments made by Draymond Green, right? And so what Draymond Green basically is trying to go after the fans for kind of discouraging LeBron James from signing with the Golden State Warriors, right? Saying that, and like the fans were going to say that LeBron James, was afraid of the backlash that was going to be caused with him signing with the Golden State Warriors. And I think that the fans, let me just say this: Draymond Green really, anytime they try to defend LeBron James, you notice that nobody goes and they never talk about LeBron James as far as being like him competing for what he wants. They always try to shape the narrative and say, well, LeBron James is, he's on the he's doing something that nobody else did. LeBron James is somebody who is he's empowered himself. And so that might be true, as far as LeBron James empowering is, player empowerment. He's a big part of player empowerment. But LeBron James has, in my opinion, with the player empowerment, gone overboard, because that has taken the desire and the need for him to compete and the need for him to get better on a year in and year out basis, like throughout his career. It's easier for him to team up with better players than it is for him to try to go ahead and persevere and try to beat everybody and that's the whole thing. That every time somebody defends LeBron James, they never talk about this point. They always try to change the narrative, right? Like it's about LeBron James taking ownership in his own career. And I think fans don't have an issue with that. Fans have an issue with LeBron James wanting to compete, against better competition. And so if you notice, every time somebody criticizes LeBron James for him, for instance, Tony Allen recently made a video about LeBron James not, thinking that he was better than, Paul Gasol or Marc Gasol? I think it was Marc Gasol as far as getting that Defensive Player of the Year award, right? And Tony Allen was just honest about it. He was like, LeBron James never throughout his history was somebody who locked anybody down. Like in a clutch situation, he never locked anybody down. He never came up with a steal or something like that in a clutch situation, right? So I don't want to take up too much time with my rant, but I do want to go into the discussion that was had on the Odd Couple show, and they talked about Draymond Green's his comments, right? And so what I want to do is I want to listen to this discussion, and then I'm gonna come back and give some more of my input.
Draymond Green, he had his reasons. I thought he had LeBron on lockdown since he's
opting out of money and stuff.
Yeah, I know, and all that. And after Draymond, decided that
trying to fight his rookie for putting a bad pitch out there for LeBron, because trying to ruin things because LeBron's coming to the Bay and everyone's all excited
that's
about
what
it.
He said, oh yeah.
And ultimately, no, LeBron James taking his talents back east for a veteran minimum contract with the 76ers.
So he decided not to go with his BFF.
He didn't want to do it. And Draymond has a theory as to exactly why LeBron went with Philly over Golden State. Take a listen.
If you go back to Cleveland, even if you go back to Cleveland and win a championship, it's not going to be as good as 2016. If you go to Miami and win a championship, it's not going to be as good as 2012, 2013. Those two places kind of got eliminated just because. You look at Golden State, and I ultimately don't think Brown was ever able to get over the history. And I understand it. I get it. What we all ultimately always knew is like, that's the hurdle to get over. We live in a day and age where everybody who doesn't have anything to say have something to say. And so he's going to get crushed if he comes to the Warriors. Oh, man, you went to team up with Steph. You had to go to them, da-da. And I think ultimately that weighed in on the decision a lot. That played a big role in the Warriors not landing LeBron.
All right, guys.
All right. So like I said with that, man, They never addressed the fact that LeBron James he would rather team up with these guys than compete against them. And that's been the theme throughout his career.
Draymond says the reason why LeBron didn't end up in the Bay is because he didn't want to get crushed for teaming up with Steph. I'm going to ask you guys straight up. Of the two options, Golden State or in Philly, where he ultimately ended up, which one was the softer landing spot of the two? Which one would he have gotten more crushed for ending up at?
It's Philly. It's Philly, but go ahead. You can go first.
It's Philly.
Come on, like what Draymond saying.
Draymond is wrong.
Have they made the play in the last 4? They haven't even made the playoff.
Dude, I literally have written down. Haven't been good in 4 years.
4 years.
So I think even LeBron's haters, Robs, both of y'all, LeBron haters would have been like, God, I didn't mean like that. Although the shoe fits. But even LeBron haters, they would have been like, oh, okay. You would have been like, indifferent if he went to the Warriors. You either would have been like, whatever. Or I think some people would have enjoyed it from just a fan standpoint. Like, this ship might sink, but it's going to be fun going down.
And that's how I would have looked at it, right? If LeBron James had a sign with Golden State, I would have been like, there's a bunch of old dudes, man. And it just would have been, like if LeBron James would have been able to pull off a ring at Golden State with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and what's the other guy? Jimmy Butler, all those old guys on the team, man, that would have been a big miracle. But now he goes to the 76ers, and you got a young team with the exception of Joel Embiid. I think Joel Embiid is like 32. But the other guys are young. You got Brown and you got Maxey. They some young guys. And then you got the I keep forgetting this guy's name, but he's so good. Believe me, pretty soon, his name will be on, everybody's top of everybody's list. But anyway, it would have been a harder route for them to win a ring at Golden State.
I think people would have enjoyed it. And I think, not to mention, listen, he's talking about the rivalry. Yeah, but they got over that because one hand, if you're LeBron, you look at it and you say, well, I came back and beat y'all. Y'all the ones had to call KD.
Thank you, the 3-1, right.
I came back
and if you didn't get KD, y'all might not have any of those.
There you go.
Let's be honest.
So the rivalry isn't quite what he's making. He's overselling it. And I think he's misunderstanding that people would have enjoyed the fun factor. Why he isn't there is because y'all roster ain't that good. And that's why it's Philly where he would get more criticism because people will say, look at this roster.
And he's taking the easy way out.
You're taking the easy way out. Look how loaded they are. When they got Jaylen Brown, they already became a very good team. Now you add yourself and look at what you got. So
it is. Now, I can agree with that. I do think that LeBron James going to Philly is just it would be an easier route. Then on top of that, he's in the East, right? So, not to say anything bad about New York and who else we got in the East? We got Cleveland and Boston, but it's an easier route to the championship, if you go through the East.
That he would get more smoke going for Philly, that he's ring chasing and, he's trying to pad his stats or whatever, then going to Golden State where the expectations would have been low. Everybody just would have looked at it as a fun, entertaining thing. He's going to play with one of his best friends in Draymond, one of his good friends in Steph, who, by the way, they pieced up. This ain't Jordan and Zeke who hate each other to the grave. This is different. LeBron and Steph don't hate each other. LeBron said, they asked him, man, on his own show to shop, who do you want to play with? A couple years back, who did he say? Steph Curry.
I thought he said any superstar that can help me win a ring.
No, that was what the subtitle said. He said Steph Curry. They played in the Olympics together. So, yeah, I just think the Warriors would have been the one that most people either went, indifferent, or people like, oh, this will be fun. Whereas Philly, I think he has and would have continued to catch more flack.
It's obvious. Draymond is, of course.
He hurt. That's what he is.
He can't give you an honest opinion or one that's not through Golden State Warrior colored glasses, because the idea that that's the reason, it just doesn't make any sense. It's Philadelphia. He got crushed. And even I think, wasn't there a promo from Dan Patrick or something saying about LeBron's done all this stuff right and he still got crushed by taking less money, a low cost.
All right. So, but let me just say this. I will admit that no matter where LeBron James would have went at, he still would have took some criticism, right? Because like the reason that he's moving is always because he's looking for a team that can help him to get a ring. And so anybody who says that LeBron James is not ring chasing, especially, what was it? Rich Paul tried to say he's not ring chasing. It's just not true. I just think that LeBron James, man, he's good for content, but the general public is not buying into LeBron James, all these different narratives they putting out there. Like I said, it's good for content. And LeBron James made big mistakes throughout his career, not really like the way he went about things, and it don't sit right with the public. And you want you want and you need, as somebody who's an athlete and an entertainer, you want to have your image, your public image, your public brand be one that the people appreciate and the people like. And he's very polarizing, and that's not marketable, man. It's marketable in the short term, but once he leave the game of basketball, man, once he leave the NBA, he's not as marketable. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.